Colleen, if you happen to see this, I just wanted to share some of my experiences. And real quick, if you are any of my usual viewers or subscribers, you don't have to watch this. It's to Colleen. And I also want to encourage NICU moms in general. So if you happen to be a NICU mom go ahead and watch if you have the time. I know as a mom, there's not a ton of time to watch videos, so I will try not to make this very long or rambly, which I have a habit of doing. Also, I have no intention of necessarily giving advice or anything like that. I just want you to know that, you know, I'm also a NICU mom, and I know you said it helps just to know that people had gone through similar situations, although no two situations are exactly alike. Obviously, I can never say I know exactly what you're going through. I definitely don't. I have not had twins. I mean, Irish twins, yes. I have 6 kids under 6. Their ages are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and my 4-week-old was in the NICU as well. So I wanted to share a little bit about that. I have some videos on my channel, like her birth vlog and stuff, but the quality is not great. I just wanted to share what she went through. And this video is more talking about just my perspective as a mom, and it can be really hard. The first time in 2016, my son was in the NICU for only 4 days, but it was one of the hardest things I have ever experienced. He was jaundice, had low blood sugar, and stuff like that. Nothing really life-threatening, nothing that had me concerned necessarily for his health. I mean, to a certain extent, obviously, but I just wanted him home. I wanted him home so badly. One second. There you go. Anyway, I wanted him home so badly. I joked about about breaking in the hospital and busting him out. Although perhaps that shouldn't be on the internet. I would never have done anything like that, obviously. Actually, with him, another thing that was super stressful was once he did get back home, I finally had my baby. I had to go back to the hospital because I was hemorrhaging. And I had retained placenta. I had pretty bad complications with all my kids. The worst was with baby number 5. I had a DVT and a pulmonary embolism after her. I almost died. They said if the pulmonary embolism was just a little bit larger, I could have just died automatically. So that was extremely frightening. And I got through that. I was on medication. I'm still on the medication. Was on it throughout this pregnancy. That's another reason, Colleen, I have been watching your videos and I felt like I could relate so much to your pregnancy. Every symptom you had mentioned, I had. And the pelvic bones, the fainting, everything. My pregnancies, well, they've all been really bad, but this last one with you-know-who was the worst. Like, I was sick the entire time. My heartburn, indescribable. Couldn't sleep at night. I could not get dressed up and go out anywhere. Like, if someone invited me someplace, it's automatic no. I could barely make a meal for my family. I couldn't function. I couldn't clean the dishes. I couldn't do anything. Like, I was just unable to. After my C-section with her, like, you would think you just had surgery. Like, relax. But no, I felt like I was floating on air. I was so happy to not be pregnant anymore. And my husband and doctors have to keep telling me, just slow down, take it easy. So I'm trying to heed that advice. I think, although you were pregnant with twins, I think we were due around the same time. So I figured you would probably have your babies before me. I was due December 8th. I don't remember when you said you were due, but I have been watching almost every video. Just so excited to see your babies. But it's always exciting when you're following someone who's pregnant and then they have the baby and you're just so happy. I was so happy. So congratulations, by the way. Also, I think it matters a lot what hospital your baby is in the NICU at, and also the staff and how they treat you and whether or not they're kind and understanding. And maybe you can relate to this too, I don't know, but I had one specific nurse who I felt like was just a little bit too rough with the baby. Now, she works in a NICU. Obviously, I'm sure she knew what she was doing, but it just scared me. Like, you do kind of get that feeling like these doctors and nurses are spending more time with your baby than you are. At least that's how I felt. And I did feel somewhat inadequate at times. But one big difference is that I had a tribe of children at home. needing me and needing attention and everything, so I was able to go. And it was a distraction. Didn't make it much better. It was just really hard seeing her every day and not being able to just pick her up and take her home. That's what I wanted to do so badly. But at the same time, I knew that she needed time to heal. She needed oxygen. Her lungs weren't fully developed. There were complications, and so she had to be taken early. And her lungs were not where they really should be, but I still just wanted it to go faster. You know, I wanted her to get that feeding tube out. She had to be on the CPAP at one point, and the CPAP actually caused her lung to partially collapse, which terrified myself and my husband. We were so scared, but we had so many people there for us. We had been vlogging the whole experience, but as soon as we heard that, we couldn't think about that anymore. We couldn't think about telling our family. Like, we couldn't think about anything. We were both in shock. I can still hardly believe, like, she got through it. It was a miracle the way it happened. But I won't get into all those details. I will just say that I know the pain of leaving a child. You feel like you're leaving part of yourself in the NICU. And it's like you sit there, at least I did. The NICUs tend to be a little bit on the warmer side. My specific experience wasn't the most comfortable, and you hear machines and beeping and all of that, and you're left to your thoughts a lot. At least I was. I was just in my head a lot, thinking thoughts that I probably shouldn't have been entertaining too much. She's smiling. Not anymore. Anyway, it was really hard. And if there's something I would like all NICU moms to know from my experience, it's not to beat yourself up and don't think you're a bad mom just because you have a baby who needs a little extra help. I would also say don't rush it, but that's not really something you should say to a NICU mom. So, but if I could go back and say that to myself, I would. Because now that I have her home, I'm constantly worried about her breathing. She's been to a few doctor appointments, and every time they say her lungs sound clear, but still, like when I'm feeding her or something, it sounds like she's breathing funny. I just get scared all the time. I'm just wanting to be able to not have that feeling of constant fear, like something's going to happen, but as long as we don't get sick, I think we should be fine. That's another thing. I had to learn to be able to say no to people when people would ask to come see the baby. We didn't get together with anyone for Thanksgiving. We had to say no a lot, but things are going much better now. And I mean, of course, my baby's home. But to anyone who still has their baby or babies in the NICU, I don't think I can really say anything that's very comforting. Just know you're not alone. And again, to Colleen, I doubt you'll ever see this video, but just know you're not alone. And there are other NICU moms out there in, Facebook groups or whatever groups. I don't do too much social media. I have found those helpful. You can always ask advice or just read stories, and don't feel bad for feeling like this sucks, because it does. I'm really glad you were able to bring Wesley home though, and I hope it does click for Maisie. I hope that she just figures it out really soon. And I hope they're home for Christmas, both of them together. Anyway, I gotta get going before my kids wake up. Thanks to anyone who watched this. And if anyone's still watching till the end, sucks to be you. I'm just kidding. I ramble sometimes, so here I go again. We'll see you guys in my next video, whoever's watching this. Some kind of Christmas wrapping thing. Bye-bye.